We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello students, I Professor Dr. Nisha P. Soni, Associate Professor of Civil Engineering Department of SNPIT IC Umrak, Bardoli College, welcomes you in this video lecture of Environmental Science subject of first year engineering students. In this session, I am going to cover topic of Environmental Science subject named Carbon Footprint. This slide shows the content flowchart of carbon footprint topic, which includes the concept of the topic, that is carbon footprint, then parts of the carbon footprint, that includes primary and secondary carbon footprints, then types of carbon footprint, which includes direct carbon emission, emission from use of electricity, and indirect emissions, which is followed by the measurement of carbon footprint in terms of CO2 equivalence, and that is followed by benefits of carbon footprint and points for reduction of carbon footprint. Now starting with concept of the topic, that what is basically carbon footprint. Carbon footprint is a measure of total amount of carbon dioxide, that is CO2, and other greenhouse gas emission that are directly or indirectly caused by an activity or which are accumulated over the lifespan of a product, person, an organization, or even a city or a state. In other words, we can say that a carbon footprint is a measure of the impact of our activities have on the environment, and in particularly the climate change. It relates to the amount of greenhouse gases produced in our day-to-day lives through burning of fossil fuels for electricity, heating, and transportation likewise. Now, carbon footprint is also a measure by which a company or an individual can calculate how much carbon emission they have produced during a project or time period. Put it the same concept another way, the carbon footprint is a measurement of all greenhouse gases we individually produce and has units of tons or kilogram of carbon dioxide equivalent. Now carbon footprint can also express in kilogram of carbon rather than kilogram of carbon dioxide. For converting the kilogram of carbon dioxide in kilogram of carbon, multiplying factor of 0.27 is used, that is 1000 kg of CO2 equals to 270 kg of carbon. Now talking about the parts of the carbon footprint. Carbon footprint has a 2 parts. First is primary footprint and second is secondary carbon footprint. Now starting with first, that is primary carbon footprint. The primary carbon footprint is a measure of our direct emission of CO2 from the burning of the fossil fuels, which includes domestic energy consumption, transportation using car, plane. In short, we have direct control of this for primary carbon footprint. Now secondary carbon footprint. The secondary carbon footprint is a measure of indirect CO2 emission from the whole life cycle of the product we use. Product life cycle includes their manufacture and eventual breakdown. To put it very simply, the more we buy, the more emission will be caused on our behalf. Now, the full carbon footprint of an organization encompasses a wide range of emission sources from direct of fuels to indirect impacts such as employee travel or emissions from other organizations up and down supply chain. Now, that is about parts of carbon footprint. Now moving towards types of carbon footprints. We can also say types of emissions. So there are main three types of emission exist as I have listed here. The first is direct carbon emissions. Second is emissions from the use of electricity, and the third is indirect carbon emissions. Now what is direct carbon emissions? So starting with the first, direct carbon emission. Direct carbon emissions are those which results from the activity that organizations control. The majority of the direct emission will result from the combustion of fuel which produce carbon dioxide emission. For an example, the gas used to provide heating for a building. Some organizations will also directly emit other greenhouse gases. For example, the burning and production of the cement. That is all about the direct carbon emissions part. Now, talking about second part, that is emissions from the use of electricity. Although emissions from the use of electricity is not directly in the control of the emissions, but by purchasing the electricity, the organization is indirectly responsible for the release of carbon dioxide. Now, workplaces generally use electricity for lighting and equipment. Electricity generation comes from a range of sources including renewable. Talking about UK, that is United Kingdom, however, around 75% is produced through the combustion of fossil fuel such as coal and gas. That I have talked about emission from the use of electricity. Now, the last type, that is indirect carbon emission. Each product or service purchased by an organization contributes towards emissions. The way the organization uses product and services therefore affects its carbon footprints. For example, a manufacturing company is indirectly responsible for the carbon dioxide that is emitted in the transport of the raw material as well as the emission from its distribution, use and disposal of its finished products. Now, until now we have talked about the parts of carbon footprint and the types of carbon footprint. Now moving towards measurement of the carbon footprint, that is in terms of CO2 equivalence. Now this term CO2 equivalence means it is used to express a carbon footprint which is made up of a number of different greenhouse gases in a single figure. It is also quantity of carbon dioxide which would have the equivalent global warming impact as the mixture of greenhouse gas. Like I have written here the example, global warming impact caused by 10 kg of CO2, that is equal to global warming impact caused by 20 kg of mixture of greenhouse gases. Now here in this example, quantity of gases is not important, but one have to notice about CO2 equivalence is all about the comparison of global warming impact compared to CO2 as a base. Now moving forward, a complete carbon footprint may include a number of types of greenhouse gas, which gases are listed in the table coming forth with their global warming potential, which is denoted by capital GWP. Now this global warming potential is an index of global warming potency with carbon dioxide defined as GWP of 1 and all other gases measured relative to the carbon dioxide. Now, as I have mentioned in last slide, this table shows the list of greenhouse gases and their relative global warming potential. Now, to find out the CO2 equivalence of these listed gases, one has to multiply the mass of these gases with its global warming potential. So, for example, 1 kg of methane is equal to 25 kg of CO2 equivalence. Here we have considered the mass of the methane, that is 1 kg, and we have multiplied that mass with its global warming potential, that is 25. So answer comes as 25 kg of CO2 equivalence. So until now we have learned about the basic concept of carbon footprint, then parts of carbon footprint, then types of carbon footprint, and the measurement of carbon footprint in terms of CO2 equivalence. Now talking about benefits of carbon footprints. Now calculating carbon footprint and taking measures to reduce it yields many environmental, social and economic benefits. Some of the benefits are: first, calculating an organization carbon footprint can be effective tool for ongoing energy and environmental management. Then it also helps in reducing emissions over the time. A carbon footprint helps to identify the inefficiency or waste within a company in terms of energy and raw material consumption. It also helps in reducing waste, thus reducing the cost of the materials. It also helps to determine what quantity of emission they need to offset for them to become carbon neutral. It can be also used to identify which activity contributes the most to a carbon footprint. It can be also used to report the footprint accurately to the third party. It also helps in measuring changes in emission over time and monitoring the effectiveness of the reduction of activities. And last, organizations are also increasingly wanting to calculate their carbon footprint in detail for public disclosure. For an example, for marketing purpose, to fulfill requests from the customer or investors, it has positive impacts on the brands of the business. That is all about I have mentioned about benefits of carbon footprint. Now moving towards some method of the minimization of the carbon footprints. There are several methods exist for reducing an individual's or an organization carbon footprint. From that, first is planting trees. Now planting trees is one of the most common and simplest form of the carbon footprint reduction. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and hence can be used to offset carbon emissions. Second is the recycling waste material. Now recycling waste material such as household, industrial and construction waste can be valuable method of carbon footprint reduction, as the carbon content of the new material which would have otherwise been used can be offset. And the third, many energy saving techniques. Now Many energy saving technologies exist which can contribute towards carbon footprint reduction, from cheap and simple measures such as installing low energy light bulbs to more expensive measures such as using electric vehicles. So again I am repeating, till now we have learned about the concept, then parts and types of carbon footprint, measurement of carbon footprint in terms of CO2 equivalence, then benefits of carbon footprint and methods of minimizing the carbon footprint. And last but the important fact, we all supposed to know about carbon footprint, that is carbon credit. Now carbon credit of CER is a tradable certificate or permit representing the right to emit 1 ton of carbon or carbon dioxide equivalent. That means 1 CER equal to 1 carbon credit, which is equal to 1 ton of carbon dioxide equivalent gases or 1 ton of carbon. An organization which produce 1 ton less carbon or carbon dioxide equivalent than the standard level of carbon emissions allowed earns 1 carbon credit. India and China are the biggest seller of carbon credits and Europe is the largest buyer of carbon credits. It has been done throughout the globe. Under the cap and trade or emission program, a company emitting less than its capped unit may sell its unused credits to a company exceeding its limit. We can understand the same thing by a simple example, that for an example, a company A has a cap of 10 ton. Means company A has the limit of emitting 10 tons, but it produces 12 tons of emission, whereas company B also has an emission limit of 10 tons but emits only 8 tons, resulting in surplus of 2 credits. Company A may purchase the additional credits from company B to remain in compliance. Without the purchased carbon credits from company B, company A would face the penalties. So that is all about carbon credit and that is all about carbon footprint. We have learned in carbon footprint its concept, its part, its type, its measurement in terms of CO2 equivalence, its benefit, the point to minimize the same, and the carbon credit, which is the tradable certificate. Thank you.